Good evening, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. This is Rich again, back for your third and final video blog of the night for Thursday, September 11th, 2014, around 8:11 p.m. in Billerica, Massachusetts. The sun's is down and it's nightfall and the crickets are chirping. And tonight's sunset is at 7:01. We will not have a sunset at 7 into March. It's going to be a long 6 months of sunsets before 7. Some news to report: 27 more days into the National Hockey League season. Just can't wait to see the NHL season start up again. There'll be several more NHL subjects before the season starts on these blogs in the coming days, weeks, months, and stuff like that. October 1st is my NHL preview blog for 2014-2015. Get ready, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. And that's about it on that. And my third and final video blog subject of the night is about a former late-grade professional wrestler, Playboy Buddy Rose. Playboy Buddy Rose was in the world of sports entertainment for over 20 years. He was famous for the blow-away diet in the WWE back in 1990. Playboy Buddy Rose's real name was Paul Persman, and he was trained for a professional wrestling career by WWE Hall of Famer and the owner of the AWA, Vern Gagne, and longtime AWA wrestler Billy Robinson. He made his professional wrestling debut on December 10th, 1973, against Sergeant Slaughter, who was under his real name Bob Ramus, in Wisconsin, and they wrestled to the time limit draw. Playboy Buddy Rose used his real name, Paul Pressman, to wrestle for a few years. He actually wrestled Kevin Von Erich in his debut match back in 1976. In 1977, Paul went to the Portland wrestling territory, and he developed the name Playboy Buddy Rose, and he was one of the biggest heels in the history of Portland wrestling. He feuded with such wrestlers as Rowdy Piper, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Kurt Hennig, Billy Jack Haynes, and others. And he won several titles in Portland wrestling, and he actually had some matches in Portland wrestling with the NWA World Champion Nature Boy Ric Flair back in 1982. Also, during this time, Playboy Buddy Rose went to the East Coast to the WWE around 1982 as his manager was the Grand Wizard of Wrestling, and he got a decent push in the WWE at that time. He wrestled WWE World Champion Bob Backlund to several matches at Madison Square Garden, the Philadelphia Spectrum, and Boston Garden, and he also had some matches with Pedro Morales for the Intercontinental title in those same cities as well. Around this time, around 1984, so Playboy Buddy Rose his weight was gaining a lot. He was over 300 pounds, but when the ring announcers would say weighing at 271 pounds, Playboy Buddy Rose would grab, "I'm not 271, I'm a slim, trim, 217 pounds. That was a gimmick, but he was way over 300 pounds. But his best work was in the AWA around 1986 and 1987, when he formed a tag team with Pretty Boy Doug Summers, and their manager was Sensational Sherry, and Playboy Buddy Rose and Pretty Boy Doug Summers won the AWA World Tag Team Championships over Scott Hall and Kurt Hennig, and they had a long-running feud with the Midnight Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. And this was Playboy Buddy Rose's best work as a performer, even though he was overweight. But he and Doug Summers had some classic matches with Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. They had some cage matches and stuff. The cage matches are go down as some of the best there was. And also, like, you wouldn't believe the unbelievable work of Playboy Buddy Rose was, despite his weight. He was great wrestling Michaels and Jannetty when both of them were youngsters. They had some real good chemistry. I think this feud was kind of one of the most underrated tag team feuds of all time. It should be ranked up there in the top 10 tag team feuds of all time. But this is when the AWA wasn't big anymore. It was like declining and stuff. After like Playboy Buddy Rose and Pretty Woolly's Doug Summers lost the tag team championships to the Midnight Rockers, Playboy Buddy Rose like bounced around from Portland to other smaller territories. He came back. Playboy Buddy Rose came back to the WWE in 1990 as basically a jobber to the stars, and he was well over 300 pounds. He was just jobbing like crazy. Was losing to everybody on like Superstars and Wrestling Challenge, but he was probably getting paid pretty good money to job a lot. And on a Saturday night's main event around the fall of 1990, they had the skit with the blowaway diet, which they said blowing it, they had something like have a piece of about like programs with calories and stuff. They had like things with this. They had the blowaway diet, which was a skit where he was eating everything he was eating, and then when they had the thing where he dropped all of that thing with the blowaway diet, it blew it all away. That thing was very, very funny, but it probably destroyed Buddy Rose's career as a serious performer. He stayed jobbing in the WWE until like the summer of 1991. Then he basically disappeared and he went back to Portland Wrestling, but that folded. And then in the mid-1990s, Playboy Buddy Rose hosted a wrestling talk show on Portland radio, and then he started a pro wrestling school up in the Portland area with one of his trainers was Colonel De Beers, whose real name is Ed Wiskowski, and they had a great wrestling school there for many years. Playboy Buddy Rose was also infamously known back in 1999 as one of a deadbeat father in Minnesota. This is about the time Jesse the Body Ventura was governor, and he was on the governor's 10 most deadbeat dads in Minnesota under his real name, Paul Pressman. That's not a good list to be on that period. And Playboy Buddy Rose continued to like go to wrestling conventions and stuff, but he developed diabetes and stuff and high blood pressure, and he passed away in 2009, April of 2009, at the age of 56. He passed away in his sleep in his rocking chair. Sad to see him pass away so young, but he was so big and heavy that led to his early death. And I think Playboy Buddy Rose was one of a great talent, a great heel, and if he stayed in shape, if he was really slim, trim, 217 pounds or a little bit above, he could have been a great worker. He probably could have been maybe a great heel in the WWE or AWA or WCW in the late 80s and 90s if he was a really slim trim, because he had that great talent to be a great heel. But, you know, the WWE just looked at his body and put him as a comedy joke. But, you know, those things happen. I hope one of these days WWE puts Playboy Buddy Rose in the Hall of Fame posthumously, because he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And that's about it for the night. Thank you for liking these video blogs and stuff. These video blogs are not going away. I'm continuing to do these every single day, at least 3 to 6 more each day. Tomorrow's subjects will be the 4 places in the Merrimack Valley area which a Hooters restaurant should open up. And also another video blog tomorrow will be about the Family Feud, the Richard Dawson years on ABC and syndication from 1976 through 1985 and also 1994. And my personality profile of the day tomorrow will be hockey announcer Mike Doc Emrick. And soon, very soon, there'll be lots more video blogs. There'll be video blogs about Julie Broughton, Local News 6. There'll be the 10 greatest Hootah Girls of Boston of all time. There's going to be the 10 greatest professional wrestling quotes of all time. There's going to be blogs about Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Dee Patel, Heidi Pratt, the Great One, Wayne Gretzky, The Rock, Andre the Giant, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, TNT, Tuesday Night Titans, Superstation WTBS. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. They'll be mentioned sooner or later. Well, good night, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. Bye now.